one of the most impactful statements that I have ever heard, I have ever seen, is a caption that says, "If you can read this, thank a teacher." And I think that's a concept that's often overlooked, a phenomenon that's overlooked, a contribution that's often overlooked, because teachers and education play a phenomenal role in our community. And the thing about teaching, although a lot of people may not understand it, is that people who choose to teach love it. You know, even though they may retire, but they still become involved in programs and activities that are associated with teaching. So I'm so happy today to have with me a group of people who have taught, and though they don't get the same amount of money on the check, they are still teaching and are still concerned about the education of our children. These individuals are a member of the Bibb Retired Educators Association, and they've got so many activities, and they are still active in doing some projects, programs, and activities. And I thought it would not be robbery, because oftentimes, you know, athletes get their due, politicians get their due, preachers get their due, scientists get their due, but teachers, I'll say that again, I like the way it sounds. Teachers do not get their due. So part of this mission today, and part of this program today, is to kind of give some recognition to these young people who are with me today and who have spent their lives. They're giggling because I said young teachers, but while you laughing, teaching keeps you young.
Yes. Yes.
You know, when you don't consider the number of years that you've lived and consider the number of years that you've taught, then that decreases the number of years that you've lived because of one's association with young people over the years. So today, as members of the Bibb Retired Educators Association, I have Miss Sylvia McGee, and I have Miss Myrtis Johnson, Miss Gail Fowler, and Miss Cheryl. Yeah, I got tongue-tied on that. And I know her husband well, Cheryl Cherry. You know, I know your teachers had a lot of fun when you were growing up, because you weren't always married, were you? And of course, Mr. Frank Tompkins, who's my friend and the head, so to speak, of this organization. I want to welcome you all, and I want to tell you that I'm cancer serious as it relates to my affinity for the profession and my recognition of it, you know, and then more of us need to understand that. More of us need to appreciate that, and more of us need to make contributions, you know, to education and to the schools and to the teachers and to everybody else that's concerned about the education of our children, because education is the key. I'm going to start first with Ms. McGee. Just tell us a little something about yourself.
Well, first, thank you for allowing us to be on the show, and thank you for the accolades. I worked for 35 years in the Bibb County School District as a school social worker and then director of school social services, retiring as deputy superintendent, and really feel still passionate about education.
Ms. Johnson?
I'm Myrtis Johnson. I worked 31 years, all in Bibb County, 14 years as an elementary school teacher and 17 years as an elementary school principal. I've been affiliated with GREA, which is Georgia Retired Educators Association, and Bibb for 15 years. I served as past president, membership director, and now I'm the Area 8 director for GREA, which is Georgia Retired Educators. And I assume you're running for the Georgia State President. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you so much, Mr. Habersham, for allowing us to come to be part of your broadcast today. I started out teaching in my hometown of Washington County, Sandersville, Georgia. Matriculated to Macon as a junior high teacher, high school teacher, assistant principal, and of course retired as principal of that fantastic, phenomenal, historical Southwest High School and Magnet Academy. Glad to be a part of the BREA. Very passionate about the work that has to be done here in Macon and Georgia. And I am the president-elect of this organization.
Outstanding.
And I started my career in Plains, Georgia, teaching in Jimmy Carter's hometown, and started as a high school teacher and moved on to Portal, Georgia, which is right out of Statesboro. And at that point in time, I realized that a lot of my high school students were having problems reading. So I decided to get a master's in reading and teach elementary kids to read. So I moved to Bibb County and started working in Georgia's model reading program here in Bibb County. I worked at Pearl Stevens and Byrne and Dursville, which is closed now, and at Hartley. And then became the assistant principal at Union Elementary, and then the principal there for 10 years. And then moved to Rosa Taylor Elementary and retired from Rosa Taylor and had the privilege of building that new building. So I had a great career, and I still volunteer in the schools. My grandchildren are in the public school system, so I'm in there with them a lot, and just love this public school system, and I'm very excited about what's going on in it.
I am too. And let me just, before I get to Dr. Tompkins, I want to just piggyback a little bit, and this applies to everybody. The key word, ladies and gentlemen, is volunteer. Mm-hmm. The key word is volunteer. And just because you're retired, it doesn't have to be from teaching, but our educational system needs all the help that it can get. And I think that we owe it to the community and we owe it to our children to do all we can about our educational system. And now we go to Frank Tompkins, a friend of mine for a long time. We went to Savannah State together. Talk a little bit about the mission, along with yourself, of BREA when you began giving your bio.
Okay, thank you, Alex. I am appreciative of the fact that you have permitted us to come on to talk about education, specifically the Bibb Retired Educators Association. And I am at least, a retired educator in Bibb County, 43 years. I won't go into where all I've been, but I can say that the reason I went to so many places is because I was fixing schools. And that was my mantra. No one wanted to see me coming, but they hated for me to leave. And that was a good thing because I was always for making sure that children were given the necessary tools so they could be successful. I started with R.J. Martin. I was late the first day, but I was never late again. And no offense, and Dr. Martin is no longer with us. But I only taught for 4 years, and the rest of my career was in administration, director of transportation. I recruit for the school district. I teach substitute teacher training classes, and I've just done a multitude of things because that's my passion, service and helping people. Now, specifically to the question that you asked me to do, education is the backbone of our society. Everything and everyone in here is where they are because of the education they got. So educators are the backbone. And it's a thankless job for which we only can appreciate when someone comes back and say, I'm glad you did this, and I remember when, and they still call you Mr. This or Mrs. This. Right. Then you had an impact on them. And when they see you in Lowe's and say, you hadn't changed one bit. What are you drinking? But the fact of the matter is, it's what you said. By being involved, you keep yourself young, your mind fresh. And one thing that I want you to add to your arsenal of quotes, you never question the heart of a volunteer. Right. Now, BREA was founded back in 1964. That's over 4 decades, I believe. So, and we are an affiliate of the GREA, which is the Georgia Retired Educators Association. Our mission is to unite retired educators, friends of education, and those who want to become a part of by providing fellowship, service, and things of this nature. We want to make sure that they are kept abreast of everything that's going on. And within this geographical area of Bibb County, we have about 428 members of our association. This was a June 2014 count, and of course we are re-upping that, so we'll probably get to that point again. Some of the things that we do that we are very keen on will be explained later by maybe Cheryl, which is Healing for Heroes, which she'll talk about. But we have a theme, and it's soaring with eagles. And all you have to do is think about that. An eagle soars above everybody else. He, the eagle itself, can see. He has a keen eye for recognizing those things that are most important in the lives of anybody. And we want to maintain ourselves at a level whereby people will have to look up to us. And that is a tremendous responsibility for us to maintain, because that is what we do. We want to take the lead. We want to live by example. Our colors, as you can tell, are red, white, and blue, which I have on. And of course, these colors were selected by our GREA state president, Jim Hammonds. And each year, each newly elected president decides what his or her theme will be, and the colors and all the other kinds of things. And we kind of follow suit as it relates to that. Now, specifically today, Mr. Habersham, we are here to celebrate the signing of a proclamation by our governor, Nathan Deal, proclaiming the first Sunday in November as Georgia Retired Educators Day. Did you know that there were 114,000 retired educators? Multiply that by 10, multiply that by 20, multiply that by 30. Then you can see just how important and where the backbone of our state and nation is, because there are associations all over this country.
Right.
So to that extent, we have been doing certain kinds of things, which Sylvia will talk about, what we plan to do in relation to this also. She has been very good in doing this. And let me say to you, and I think it's very important that recognition be given where it's due. Gail Fowler, our president-elect, is the person who has said, we need to talk to Mr. Habersham so we can get the word out that we are an association. You can follow us on Facebook. We are on Facebook. We have a newsletter. I mean, we have all the vocal organs by which we can get the word out that education is important. You'll hear about some of the services and the things that we do. But more importantly, fellowship, service, and support.
Well, we're gonna hear a lot more about what the association is doing. This is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Habersham, and we'll be right back. I think it would only be fair and proper if we gave these individuals who are members of Bibb Retired Educators Association, talk a little bit about your involvement in this organization in education and what it has meant to you.
Well, I'm a lifelong resident of Bibb County, and the Bibb County schools have served me well, and it is no more that I would give back. And the giving back was not just only in the active years, but now that I have time to be of service to others. So it has meant a lot to me in terms of celebrating Retired Educators Day. I think that's important in terms of recognition of what we do, but also of what we give. So that's important.
Yeah, that's very, very important. How about you, Frank? Would you add to that as it relates to her? Not you, her, because I understand that she's going to be spearheading something.
Yes, I can really add to the fact that the idea of giving back, that is so very important, because many times we are just the recipients and we don't feel that it's important. Once we get what we need, we just move on. But if we were to put into perspective what we want others to understand is that continue to be a part of that have you where you are. So I think that's very important also.
Well, this is Miss Sylvia McGee, who's a retired educator, and Mr. Frank Tompkins, who's a retired educator also, and we'll be right back. We're back, and I'm now talking with Miss Murtis Johnson, who's also a retired educator, and talk to me not only about your experience as an educator, but what this organization means to you and what role that you think it can play in making this a better community.
Okay, Brother Habersham, as I said earlier, I've been a part of this organization for 15 years. I served as a past president, and I've served on just about every committee you can name in the organization. But the one thing that I'm most proud of is our volunteer hours to the community, our Adopt a School program. In the past, we adopted Jones Elementary School. We adopted that school for 4 years. We put money into that school. We put volunteer hours in that school. That was our baby. Now we have another school, Williams Elementary School. Again, we put funds into the school, volunteer hours into the school. Whatever the school needs, they can call on us. Another one of our pets is the scholarship program. We give scholarships to college students who are aspiring to be educators right here in Bibb County. We give scholarships to Wesleyan, Georgia College, it's not Georgia State University, I believe, Mercer University. Those are the recipients of the scholarships we give. We give out a scholarship, $1,000 scholarship every year to a student who is aspiring to be an educator. And last year, we started giving scholarship to high school students. Now that student doesn't have to be aspiring to be an educator, but we hope that we can kind of turn them over to education.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much. And then that's, my heart is just so warm, and I am so busy, but you all gonna mess around and make me join this organization.
That's the goal.
Because I'm so pleased with what you all are doing. But I truly hope and sincerely hope that the community feel the warmth and understand the impact, and these young people are retired, and they've dedicated, we counted up, including me, I used to be a teacher. It's 180 years of teaching, and no, it's more than that, because Mary Whitfield just walked in here. So there's a lot of years of teaching in here. So I just want you to be more conscientious about teachers and teaching and education and the school system. And there's something that everybody can do something. I'm sure that if you call one of these people, if you call Mr. Tompkins or anybody, we'll get a number before you leave, and they would love to have you help to volunteer and assist with what they're doing. Just talk to Ms. Murtis Johnson. Y'all know Frank. We'll be right back. This is a call to action.
A call to action.
And I'm your host, Alex Habersham, interviewing members of the Bibb Retired Educators Association, talking about many of the positive things that they are doing in this community. My next interviewee is Dr. Gail Fowler. So talk a little bit about your experience as a teacher, a principal, and your association with Bibb Retired Educators Association.
This is a call to action today because BRAE is serious about the work of teaching and learning in this school district. I can tell you that when we look at Bibb County, I have served as a teacher and an administrator in every district except the new Howard district. So I know the potential, and I know the great students that have graduated from Bibb Public Schools, but also those administrators and teachers that are working hard for the children of this district. So my work in BRAE is to say that we are alive and well. We are soaring with eagles, not like eagles. We are also an organization that is full of life. We have various ethnicities, various religions, and we come together to provide service of teaching and learning for Bibb County. I have 4 grandchildren in this district, so you know that my passion and my work is serious. And as an organization, we have already pledged our support to Dr. Jones and to the community of Bibb County.
Well, thank you very much. What was that quote you had about a volunteer?
You never question the heart of a volunteer.
You never question the heart of a volunteer. I like that. I'm going to steal it, too. This is a call to action. We're back, and although everybody who's on this committee in this organization are good personally, we want to kind of delve into some of the programs that in which these organizations are involved. So we're going to ask Ms. Cheryl Cherry, to talk about some of the programs. Ms. Cherry?
Well, I'd like to tell you about some of the programs that we are having this year. They're similar to what we've had in the past. We try to have programs that support our membership and also let them know about the community in which they live, let them know about decisions they need to make, and let them meet people they might not meet otherwise. So we start the year off by having a reception for our retired educators so that they can become familiar with our association, BREA, and we can let them know something about the state organization. And Dr. Jones came to our meeting and he gave a greeting and we were able to pledge our support to him and he pledged his support to us as well. So that was a great partnership that we formed. And then in October, we had someone come from Silver Sneakers at the Wellness Center because many of us have Medicare. It's part of our health insurance benefits. So we have the benefit of being able to join Silver Sneakers for free. And that was not something that our members always knew about. So they have an option to go to the Wellness Center, and they were able to learn about that from the person who came to speak. In November, we'll celebrate Retired Educators Day, and normally we have a member of the legislature come and speak with us then and tell us what they think about legislation affecting retirees. In December, we have a special treat because we have our own members who present the program. We have a BREA chorus who just perform beautifully. And so they will be entertaining us in December. In January, we're going to find out about self-defense for older people. And in February, we will find out about hospice and hospice care, and also about some organizations that can help you with identity fraud.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then in March, we take a field trip. We go somewhere that the membership agrees on a bus trip, a day trip, and everyone has a great time. They get to see something for an affordable price, and it's a great builder of fellowship with our membership. In April, we honor all our members with awards and say,
thank you. Retired teacher,
and we say thank you for what you've been doing all year.
Wow.
And then our annual convention is usually at the end of the end of April or May. So our May meeting, we celebrate the convention.
That is so outstanding.
So, we're very proud of our programs, and we think that they really support our membership and that they learn a lot about our community and services.
Now, are there any teachers out there that are not members that should be members?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You don't necessarily have to be a retired educator. You can be a supporter of, a supporter for, or a supporter to. We'll
right.
take you in either of those 3 categories, whichever purposes you want to use for English
So there's
teaching.
an individual who worked at Robbins Air Force.
Right. If you want to be a sponsor of scholarship for somebody, if you want to, contribute to the sponsor of the scholarship, we're not a 501(c)(3). I can say that up front. So if you want to just sponsor someone and contribute, then you feel free to do so. But you can join. But you can't become, if you're not an educator, you can't become a member of the state association, so to speak. But you can become a member of our local association.
The state.
State.
Yeah.
And also, we welcome other people to join because I think it lets them see some of the services that are in the community that they might not have available through other organizations. Right. Well, my husband's a member. He's not an educator.
They might be retired and they might need something to do, so come on and join us.
Well, I'm retired and I really
I have your application. I got your application right here.
And I
But
would like to mention that we do serve lunch at all of our meetings, and we have a delicious lunch, and we meet at Macedonia. We have a delicious lunch every month, and second.
Well, you just helped Frank a whole lot to recruit me.
So,
Yeah, well, I just want to thank you all. I really, really appreciate, what you all are doing and this information. Thank you, Ms. Gale, for making this suggestion. And we're going to take a little break, but we'll be right back. This is a call to action.
A call to action.
And I'm interviewing members of the Bibb Retired Educators Association, and we'll be right back. We're back. And as I said, I'm so happy to be interviewing members of the Bibb Retired Educators Association in the person of Ms. Sylvia McGee, Ms. Meredith Johnson, Dr. Gail Fowler, Ms. Cheryl Cherry, and Mr. Frank Tompkins. So we've got just a few minutes left. So I want to give each one of you a 30-second parting shot. Go ahead.
Okay, I'd like to say that the first Sunday, November 1st, is declared as Retired Educators Day, and our group will worship corporately at Macedonia Baptist Church at the 725 service, and we're asking churches across the city to recognize any educator in their congregation.
Thank you very much, Ms. Johnson.
Additionally, I want to speak on behalf of the Georgia retired educators. We know we have a lot of retired educators out there. You don't have to be retired to be a member. You can still be actively working. The membership is only $24 a year, and we would love to have everybody out there who is retired or who's seeking to retire, who just love us, to become a part of GREA. Only $24 a year of your membership.
Dr. Fowler?
We've extended the invitation to come and join us, and again, it is a call to action. We need your service, we need you to volunteer, and we just need for you to come and join us. And how do you do that? You may view our Facebook page, you may contact any member of our board that's here with us today, but come and soar like eagles with us.
and I would like to say it doesn't matter what age you are to join our group. We have recent retirees, and we have 4 emeritus members who are 90 years or above. Our oldest member is 104.
Wow.
And she's still active and has come to our meetings. And so we are happy that we're able to include a broad range of ages.
Close it out, Frank.
I'd just like to say this is just a small cadre of our memberships. We have committees in our organization that do a lot of the work. I mean, they do all the legwork and everything, and we have a committee that our executive board meets and plans everything, and we'll just like to make sure that the public understands that all of us are involved in this process, not just a select few. It's everybody that makes this whole engine roll. Everybody is in the right seat on the bus. And we did receive proclamations from the City of Macon, Mayor Rickard, and from the Bibb County Board of Education, Dr. Jones, and we are just immensely grateful for them recognizing this, along with the fact that the governor has declared this as Retired Educators Day in Georgia, 114,000 strong.
This is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Habersham, having thankfully interviewed members of the Bibb Retired Educators Association. Y'all keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
www.makingblackpages.com